Hello, hello, hello. Welcome on in. I'm going to discuss a little bit on how to sort your gear. Just making sure that all the comms are working. So let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so here we go. YouTube chat, YouTube chat. Okay, good. Twitch chat, Twitch chat. Okay. Kick chat, kick chat. My volume is good. Microphone's good. All right, let's get to it. So here is what's going on. So one of the things that we have in Destiny that happens a lot is inventory situation, right? So we always have a little bit of an inventory situation that you always want to kind of keep up with it. Sorry about that. So one thing that's very interesting is you were able to get multiples of the same thing, which indicates that it's not so random anymore, right? So it's probably really people have hashed that out quite a bit. I have inquired a few of the smoke jumper set, which is a good set for what it carries. You know, the two piece and one piece. It's right down the screen, and then it's a really helpful one. So instead of doing as it comes along, I do it after I've inquired a few. It's easy to kind of like look at all of them at once, and I saved this one for the last. I did the Titan, I did the Hunter, and then now I have the Warlock here. Right. So one thing that's important to know is how can you get rid of stuff right away as soon as it shows up, right? So one of the things I do is the master work indicates that I have what I need and I'm no longer looking for it. Um, but it also another thing that you need to pay attention is this bit right here. So it says plus health minus something. And I'll show you that right here. It says plus health minus something. And then you have the something on the bottom. And then, so on this one, it's easy to look at it. So if you look at weapons right there, it's plus weapon minus something. And there again, I go over here and it says plus weapon minus whatever it is that you desire. And then so forth and so on, right? So it continues. So this is weapons, this is grenades, grenades, weapons, grenades, grenades. So you can see a theme right here. Yeah. So I don't care for weapons. I mean, for health, because I don't do PvP with this character. I do that with the hunter. And then I can quickly show you that probably. Let's see here. Hunter. All right, so the hunter's sorted. So I'll just use this example. So my hunter do PvP, okay? And then I do have a brawler here with health and melee weapons, okay? And then so again, I personally don't want that 5 points to go to health. So for me personally, I have variety. So I got weapons, class, grenade, super. And then I have all the different ones, right? So grenadier, gunner, specialist, paragon, brawler. I have all of them, right? Because this is the PvP setup right here, right? And then let's continue. Look, so here we go: grenadier, gunner, paragon, the same PvP gear. So over here I have this one for the trials, and then own weapons, and it's a paragon piece. So forth and so on. So let's go back to how I sort it. So first thing, establish what you want, if you want a plus or minus, because that's the easiest thing. As soon as your gear comes in, you look at it. If a plus or minus is not in 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 the stats you like, just delete that, right? So over here, I won't even think twice. I inquired all of these too. I know this is a masterwork piece. I'll just delete that. Okay. But I'll leave that for the last because there's another thing you need to pay attention to is when you delete it, you get materials. So is your materials are max? If it is, well, wait a second before you delete it, right? So not at max right here. And then the glimmer is also not at max. Okay, so here's how I do it. So I want to sort this. There's quite a bit, right? So what I'm going to do is I grab a grenadier and then I look for another grenadier. Grenadier. So there you go. Now I compare it. Okay. I have two grenadiers. The plus and minus are both on weapons. Okay. And then I have weapon stats or a health stat because I don't care for health at all. I'm going to keep the one that says weapons. And then I'll get rid of the one that says grenadier. And then boom, just like that, I've just sorted it. Okay, then I'll go to the next one. The next one here is Paragon. Grab a Paragon. I already know I'm deleting this, so I'm not worried about it. And then look for another Paragon. There is no other Paragon. So, good. And then I'll go Gunner. And then Gunner, and Grenadier, Paragon, Bulwark, Specialist. So there you go. That's sorted. Now I have one Gunner, one Grenadier, one Paragon, one Bulwark, and then one Specialist. I have one of each. Okay. For later on, whenever I'm doing my build. So there's levels to this, right? This is as you farming, all of this comes into inventory. You get rid of the ones you know you don't want it, and then as you're farming, um, you have one of each, and you're not worried about it. You don't have extras. So when you're making your build, you select the gear you need, and then delete the remaining. Okay. So I'm gonna get rid of that because it's a plus and minus on health. Beautiful gear here, but it's a plus and minus on health. I don't want it. And I have another gunner. And then just to look at it quickly, let me remove the stats in here. There's a very high chance it's identical to the last one. There you go. So it's not identical, but it's like a 50-50 chance, right? So over here, I have stats on the grenade super weapons. And then in the other one, I have stats on grenade class weapons. So the one I'm deleting is being deleted because I don't want anything, the plus and minus, to be on the health stat, right? So let me see if I can build these together close to each other, right? So if I go over here and I put, uh, what's the other one? Right. So I go over here and I put class on this, okay? I don't have the ability to put more class because it's more health. So I have I don't have a choice here but to add this. But for the sake of argument, I am going to show you how to do this here, right? So on here, I have, I'm going to put it on super. So here, I'm going to put it on super. And I have the ability to get a plus on a grenade, which will be health. I take it from health, put it on a grenade. And then now, looking much better, right? I have a 30, a 20, and a 30. In the other one, I have 25, 20, and a 30. So I find that this is a better gear than that one is. And for the sake of argument, I don't know if I have enough cash here, but I'm gonna upgrade it. Okay, so now we can compare apples to apples. And look at that. Beautiful 30 there, another beautiful 30 there, a 20, which I also have on the other one. So 20 over here is on class, where 20 over there is on super. And then it flips it around, right? So I have 15 on class, where in the other one is 15 on super. Right, so that is a better for my build. And they're both 100 total. Okay, so I'm gonna go delete this one. And then he gave me so the material thing, yeah, the material situation, right? He gives me the material back. So before you delete stuff, I would recommend you have space for that. Otherwise, you spent it, but you didn't get it back. So now I have a gunner, I have a grenadier, I have a paragon, I have a bulwark, and I have a specialist. Okay? And then quickly I can do that same thing for the other ones, right? So here we go. So grenadier, grenadier, grenadier. They're the same thing, right? Too many of them, right? So I'm gonna equip that. I'm gonna remove whatever's there. And then I'm gonna look at it to see what my plus is. My plus is on class. My plus is on melee. My plus is on weapons. So by default, I want either the weapon ones or possibly the melee one. Okay. I have a masterwork gear here that I did it as I was getting to 550. Okay, I needed it at the moment. Maybe I no longer need it. So let's compare. Here we go. So this one compared to that one is on class, and then you lose weapons. That's not good. I want weapons. I want super grenade weapons. All right. And then this one, oh, look at that. Exact the same gear. So this is a better one, right? So I have grenade, super, weapons, and then I have weapons on a plus. This is going to be better. So, and then I got over here, I upgrade it. Oh man, not gonna have enough money. Okay, and upgrade it. This is a plus on weapons. Add more weapons. Compare apples to apples. And boom, look at that beautiful piece of gear. So now I, I know I'm not keeping that. This is the one I want. They're all grenadier, grenadier, and grenadier. Right? So delete that. And then delete that. Do I have enough? Maybe I have enough. Oh, there you go. I have enough. No, I don't. But you get what I mean, right? I'll revisit this in a bit to actually upgrade it to full, so I can show it to you what it looks like. So it's -1 on health. All right. So let's go to the next one. Gunner, equipped, and then look for gunner. No more gunners. So I only have one gunner. No more gunner. Cool. All right. So let's go grenadier. Grenadier. I have another grenadier here. Let's compare it. I either get health or I get class. So between health and class, we know we're not going to pick health. We're going to pick class. So I want this one. All right. But it's not over because there's a few more. All right. So another grenadier here. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's a good comparison. You see how you get the same item? Same exact item. Beautiful way of looking at it. Okay. So I know that these two are equal. I can go ahead and delete that. This one's a 550, so I'm holding it for the moment. Another grenadier. Okay, so we've decided that we want class versus health, but do we want class versus weapons? Not really. I prefer weapons. So grenade, super, weapons. Here we go. I prefer that. And then so because you're running two pieces, yeah? You're running two pieces of one, two pieces of the other. There might be a gear in here that I want class because I already have two pieces on weapons. And then do I have two pieces on class? I don't know. So this one does not have class. That was a lone one. We have class on this. All right. So your exotic might take that place. So there's a little bit more thinking to do here. But nothing else has, oh, this one has class. I'm all right. This is a tough one. Okay, and this is my last one. So I have to make a decision between the two here. Okay, I have to make a decision here. So I am going to skip this for a moment because I want to take a look at these two. So what it looks like here as a grenadier, I'm either going with class or weapons. Pretty sure I'm going with weapons. I'm pretty sure this is the one right here. Any case, so brawler. Do I have another brawler? Yes, I do. All right, so all my grenadiers are here. The gunner is done. Grenadier, 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 and I'm deciding between these two. All right, so let's go here. Brawler. Okay, so this one I have a plus and minus on the melee and a plus and minus on a super. And then I have a choice. Do I want more super or more class? Right? No brainer here, right? I want more super. Easy. So I want more super. And then the plus or minus will be on melee. Okay? So I'd rather guarantee the 20 for that super than a plus 5 on nothing, right? So it'll be a 10. So super is what I want. Easy peasy, delete. All right, now we have bulwark and a specialist. Oh, it's all different now. This one's a tech sack. That's not it. Okay, so now I have brawler, bulwark, specialist, one of each. And then, so brawler, bulwark, specialist, gunner, and then grenadier. Okay, probably going for this one. Right, he moved a little bit. Yes, it did. Nope. There you go. So there you go. So probably going for this one, not this one. All right, let's go to the next one. Next one is grenadier, paragon, gunner. They're all different. Okay, so plus on a super, plus on a super, plus on the weapons, and they're all different. Keep them off. And then you go to the last one. Last one, first thing you need to see is anything that says health, which is what I don't want. Your choice might be different than my choice. So I get it. But my choice is nothing on health, which means this is a delete. Maybe. Okay, cool. So here we go. Gunner. Put the gunner on. Look for another gunner. Another gunner here. Gunner. So 2 gunners. Right? Okay, so this one has a plus and minus. Let me take that off. Okay. So one is on weapons. No. Hold on. One is on super. The other one's on class. So I have grenade, class, weapons, or grenade, super weapons. Right? And that's when we have the final answer. Okay? So gunner with grenade, super weapons is what I would choose. Okay? And I would delete this. Yeah, super versus class. Okay, cool. So next one, paragon. Paragon, look for another paragon. Paragon, paragon. Oh, 3 paragons. All right, this is going to be a good example because I have 3 of them. So paragon, paragon, and paragon. All right, here we go. So this paragon is health, and this one is weapons. I want weapons. Get rid of health. And this one is grenade or weapons. So now we have a choice here. I have melee, super weapons, or I have melee grenade super. Right, so I have a little choice here. So let's see. Melee. I'd say grenade or weapons. And then grenade here, grenade here, grenade here, and weapons. So use grenade and weapons. Then we have grenade and weapons. So there's a theme here, grenade and weapons, grenade and weapons, super and grenade, super and grenade, super and grenade. All three really. Super and grenade. Something with melee here. So not melee. Not melee. Because I don't have a melee build there anyway. Paragon, Paragon. Not melee. They're both melee. Alright. So I can have super and weapons. Be done with that. Okay. Or I do either do super and weapons, or I do grenade and weapons. I would resort to a third party because now it's getting a little complicated here. So I'd resort to a third party. D2 armor picker. That's what I would do. Because this answer right here is difficult because of what the other ones were. All right, so Paragon, Paragon, Gunner, Specialist, and Boa. All right, cool. So now I go to D2 armor picker. Right? And on D2 armor picker, it's good that it happened this way because I can make a decision live and simple. Right, on D2 armor picker, I go over here and I go and I select the smoke jumper in full, right? So we have 2 pieces and 4 pieces. Okay. So too old for this. I select that. And then that will give me all the too old for this. Okay, and let's say I'm building up this build right here, which is I'm not gonna have the arm, but I'm gonna have all the other stuff. Okay. So I now go ahead and select my exotic, which is controversial hold. I select void, and then I go to my build over here, which is the build I'm using currently. Okay. And then I do these. So I have expulsion. All right. And then undermining. Persistent. And then starvation. So I've selected that. And then D2 Armor Picker is now telling me, okay, with Controverse Hold and with the full set of a Smoke Jumper, which is too old for this, you have a few options. Now, for this build specifically, I want as much grenade as possible, right? And then my secondary will be, I would say super at 100, because you're really using a grenade for this, nothing else. And then whatever is left, I'm gonna put it on weapons. And here comes up with the loadout for me. And I can just equip that. And all of a sudden, my character will just pick all this up. Okay. So now that I have it all on my character, right, I got to fix some things, right? So 150, 128, 85. So now I go through. Just gonna remove this so it looks apart. Okay. As you can see, I have one of each, right? So I got the two paragons here, and I have one of all the other ones. So Grenadier, Gunner, Specialist, and Boa. So for this build right here, I would go without even thinking and be like, less health, more weapons. No, less class, more weapons. No more. What is this class? This is class. So this is giving me more class. What do I want? Less of health. Okay. This one's giving me more weapons, less health. This one is giving me more super, less health. This one is giving me more weapons, less health. Okay, cool. Now we are 90 here. And then I can make the shift. Right, so if I want max grenade, and I'll go grenade, grenade. Let's see how far we can get this. Grenade, grenade. So now I have 180, right? And I'd say this is a good build right there. By itself, it gave me 133 on super. And then by adding grenade, I have 180 grenade. Now, I could change that to increase here. Look, I can put 2 grenades here. So on weapons, if I do that to weapons, now I have 100 weapons. And then I can add a font mod. Okay, so you gain bonus super, super. Nope, can't do anything with that. Let's see here. Bonus to health. Bonus to weapons. And bonus to class. Okay, no, in that case, I'll go there, back here, and then I do bonus to weapons. But I wouldn't do bonus to weapons. I would put a surge. In my case, strength surge versus this surge. So I'd say that's pretty good right here. Okay. If I wanted that at 200, I come over here, and then instead of weekend, I'd put something else, whatever else. But let me just remove that, and now I'm at 200. And that's one full build, right, that you could do. Now, put that back. If I did a full build, this has got max grenades. Yeah, that's actually a perfect gear to get to have the grenade. Okay, cool. So this is one done, right? I go ahead and lock all of this. Ooh, let me make a decision on this real quick because I did not need this. So that was the answer I was looking for, right? I have this, which is grenade super class. So I would remove the one that says class. They don't say class. And then secondary would be grenade. So I would keep the one that says super and weapons. Get rid of the one that says grenade because let's face it, I have a grenadier piece. I don't need it. So both pair gone, and here's my answer. Both pair gone, one with weapons and one with grenades. Get rid of the one that says grenade. Done. Okay. So now I have a grenadier, paragon, gunner, specialist, and bulwark. Work. All right. Grenadier, paragon, gunner, grenadier, brawler, bulwark, specialist, gunner, grenadier. Oh, I got two grenadiers here. And I've selected that. That's good. All right. So that answers the question on that too. Grenadier. So that answered the question on that too. So which one do I pick? The one that goes in my build, right? I made a quick build. That goes with my build. And look at that, beautiful. So this one has weapons. This one has super, that one has weapons. So grenade super weapons, grenade super class. Get rid of that. So now there's a 550 here. I take that, which will be just glimmer. It's the only 550. Not hard to find. And then there it is. So that's the answer, right? So now I have a grenadier, brawler, bulwark, specialist, gunner. Okay. Now gunner, grenadier, paragon, bulwark, specialist, and then just a grenadier here. So this is the main piece, right? Because it fits on this build quite good, right? And then I would not only lock all of them, but I would masterwork them too. I'm gonna put just one because of money. I don't have enough money. But at least it's easy to define. I've selected it, right? I've actually came over here and I select these. Okay. So what I would do is I would masterwork the full thing, knowing that there is a masterwork here too. So I would masterwork the full thing and lock the full thing. And for these, I would just lock them, indicating I've looked at them, right? So in an example like this, that I have most pieces, or all of them, I think. Grenadier goes here. Brawler there. Full Walker's health. And then Specialist class. Gunner's weapons. I don't have a Paragon. So all of them, I'm missing a Paragon over here. Okay. So if a Paragon shows up of Smoke Jumper, I keep. If a Paragon, if something other than Paragon shows up, I delete. And I don't have to look at it again. I got one of each. Okay. And that's how I do. So when you do your farming, there's two things you know about Smoke Jumper. One, you have, at some point, you're going to get a full set. And then at that point, you say, okay, I don't want anything with plus on, say, health, on my case. I don't want anything with health. So I delete everything that comes out with health. And then for my chest plate specifically, I don't want anything other than Paragons. Delete everything, keep Paragon. And then that's how you have your build. So comparing this build with 180, 133, and 80 to the build that I was using, which was this, I have 190. So that went from here to here, and I lost 5. Yeah. So not much difference. I mean, a little bit more health, but not much difference. Okay. And then, so now I can put everything in the vault. And we're going to do that with the next set of gear that I find in the vault. Okay. I had to save this. So next gear that I find in the vault, let's see here. Whatever it is. Okay. Oh, this is easy peasy. Look at this. Easy. This will be like a complete delete right here. So I have one. It happens to be a grenadier. I just realized this. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. It just found an error. So the max you can have is 42, isn't it? The max you can have is a 42. So putting a 1 here gives me a 40. Which means I can then change this to ashes to acid. Cool. Be a better loadout here. Has the most pieces I can have. So now I have double ashes to acids. Okay, that'd be a cool. See, little things like that. So, wait a minute, but it is giving me the +5. Oh, look at that. So I have 85 with 1. And a 90 with 2. So it doesn't show here, but it's definitely counting here. So myth busted. Oh, I just found something else. This is so cool. Wow. little clip on this right here because this is really good. All right, so hello everybody. This is EthosWGaming here talking. We have a little thing that I wanted to show you when it comes to your gear. So max on the gear that is showing you is 42. But look here, 190 on there. So, all right, let me start over. Hello, everybody. This is EthosWGaming speaking. Here we go. We have a little something I want to show you here. So here we go. Let's do this quickly. So 42, it's max, 190 on that. And then we go here and I decrease it to 1, which takes 5 from here. But it shows 40. So little number thing here, I add 5. It shows 42, so it only shows 2, but it gives me the 5. Little piece of something. Doesn't matter, right? It goes over. It's there. You can't see, but it's there. Thank you for playing Destiny. Let's see how that came out. All right, that came out pretty good. All right, and so a little thing about when you're doing content on live, right, without script or anything, just the fact that you did something, right? It's good. Like you don't have to be perfect. You know, if it's good, it's good. If it's not, well, the system will tell you. So let's continue here. All right, so here we go. All of these is the Festival of the Lost Mask, which I will be throwing it out. I don't need it. Right, so this expires in a week. So I already have one here that is Masterwork. It's a Grenadier. Why would I care about anything else? I probably don't. Is it 550? No, it's not. It's not 550. I mean, does it have to be perfect with every build you have? Probably not. It's a gear that's expendable, right? So, but then again, I follow the same rules, right? This is weapons, this is melee, the plus and minus, right? Glass, super, and grenade, right? Those are the plus and minus. But I already have a Masterwork one. And I might add, there's a lucky one. Delete them all. None of it's 550. It shows up, it delete, shows up, it delete. I won't even look at it. You know, you need one for the event. And once the event's gone, it's gone. All right. Here we go. Next one. Next one. Next one. Next one. I have a tech sec. sack, sack. Okay. Already did the smoke jumper. You see how it's locked? No problem. The hood, I only have one. Leave it alone. And that will end all the ones that I have. All right, so we're doing tack sack, right? Okay, here we go. Tack sack, tack sack, tack sack. And for visual purposes, I remove all the cosmetics out of it. Makes it easier for me. Tack sack, tack sack, tack sack, tack sack. Boots. This is Bushido ends here. Now last dance. Tack sack. 1, 2, 3. Last discipline. Tack sack, tack sack, tack sack. Last discipline. Right? So let's see how quickly we can do this, right? So everything was in the vault. I picked it all up. Yeah. And then I look at it, say, no mods are on them. First thing I look at, no mods are on them, no mods are on them, no cosmetics either on them. This one is holding cosmetics, which is also holding mods. So I remove the cosmetics and the mods. Now they look all the same. Sort of. This must have worked, right? So, and then I look for the second thing, which is health. Does any of them have health? And then health as in plus and minus health. So I've been deleting them. And it looks like I don't have any with the plus and minus health. Right? So each thing focusing at once, right? So nothing with plus and minus health here. All right, cool. So the next thing I want to know is, do I have to watch out for the max level gear, which is the 550? Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. So I don't have to watch out for any 550s. Good. So I don't have to watch out for any health. I don't have to watch out for any things that have added to the character, to the gear itself, plus or minus or anything. And I don't have to watch out for it being max level. Great. Okay, so now I go with my next step, which is gunner, gunner, grenadier. So I know for a fact I'm keeping this because I only have one. And I have a gunner and a gunner, one being masterworked. So then I look at it. Next thing is I'm going to look at it. This one has health. That one has super. So I don't want any health. I go bye-bye. And then done. Next. So specialist, gunner, gunner. Okay, so I know I'm keeping a specialist. And then I go to gunner. This one has class. The other one has melee. I want class, not melee. I don't have any melee builds. Okay. Me myself. But you yourself might be looking for a melee. Right? So one thing that I would say to you to find out is, what are the two and what are the ones? Is that one have to do with the melee? So in this case, a 2 has to do with kinetic damage. And then a 4 also has to do with kinetic damage. Nothing to do with melee. It has 100% to do with weapons. So if I go over here, they're both weapons, which is good. And one gives me more class, the other one gives me more melee. Now, the incinerator snap build requires melee. The Helion requires class. I'd rather keep one that says class versus the one that says melee, because if I'm trying to stay alive quickly, I'm going to use the class, not the melee. So I'm going to go over here and get rid of the one that says melee. Me, myself, based on my build. This is important to know that. All right? Okay, so specialist, got it. Done, done. Okay, next. Umbrella. Specialist. Grenadier. 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 Umbrella. At some point, I was really trying to build the Grenadier thing and the Paragon thing. I have lots of those. So we have two of them, identical to each other, right? Delete the one that has lower light level. Why not? There's always a decision. You got to make a decision. So now I have Brawler, Specialist, Grenadier. Lock, lock, lock. Okay? So the only time you upgrade it is when you actually have a build for that gear. Outside of that, don't upgrade it. You don't need to. Right? I can run a full build without any upgrading. Granted, if you do, it's better. Brawler, Gunner, Grenadier. One of each. Keep, keep, and keep. Now we have Grenadier, Grenadier, Bulwark. So here we go. Grenadier, Grenadier. So now we've established earlier that I want class, not melee. Right? So I'm going to keep the one that says class, not the one that says melee. So get rid of this one. Now what's interesting is they're the same, you see? They're the same. So you're seeing the theme. Even though they're different pieces of gear, they're exactly the same. So if you have, eventually you're going to find out how you want your builds. And then you have exactly the same gear, which will be across the board for every game, like for everyone that plays Destiny. They're exactly the same. Then when you go to your D2 armor picker, you will be picking the perks of the gear because the stats will remain the same, right? So let me see how close. I don't have enough of those to be exactly the same, but let me see how close I can get. Just see if I can give you a demonstration of what I mean. All right? So smoke jumper here. Let me see. And the one I was with is, I should have saved it to show you. But nonetheless, we can do it again. All right. I probably, yep, I left things in it. Okay. Yep. This was the one. And this is the only one. So, do I have an equal? Okay, see, this is an equal. If it was upgraded, it would be exactly the same. So let's switch that. And do I have an equal? I do not. Not here. So let's keep that one. Do I have an equal? I think this is an equal. Because if I upgrade, it's not upgraded. Oh, awesome. I can do it. It was a grenade. And then less health. Okay, we have a very similar, right? Very similar. So, which is good too that we can make this distinction because this is very similar. All right, so the difference is I have a plus on the class and a plus on weapons. See that? So, and then you can tweak it a tiny bit more. They're not exactly equal, but you can tweak it a tiny bit more, right? But now you have the two perks, right? You have the tech sack perk and the bush and the armor set for the smoke jumper. Right? You got both perks, and your build didn't change much, right? So let me add this here, right? So see a tiny bit of difference there, tiny bit. And then this I couldn't get an equal. This one I have an equal. So I have a smoke jumper, tech sack, tech sack. Now in comparison, all right, I lost 5 on weapons here, and I lost another 5 on weapons here. But then my grenade remains at 180, and I lost 10 weapons. So I lost 10 weapons, but I added the tech sack perk, which is damaged with Connecticut weapons, right? So your primary, which I don't have one on right now. So it wouldn't necessarily work for this build, but you get what I mean. You see? You see how things are coming along? So at this point, these two pieces that you know are the two pieces that are important. These two pieces you'd masterwork, right? Now, find out like what other piece over here you want to masterwork, so you can have a full set, right? So I know for a fact that I'd masterwork these two because a direct replacement of the other. Okay, and then I would find out a piece on that I could use. There's nothing close. Maybe this one. How did this one? This wouldn't be a bad replacement. And then here is a good replacement right here. There you go. And now I have a full replacement. Okay. So we have already established that on this same build, I can go 2 pieces of each, or I can go a full set of each. And the build didn't change much. These two things have not changed. I lost quite a bit of weapons here, so it is better if I go like so, because I'm 70 instead of 80, but I'm still there with the 2 bonuses. There we go. I hope that explains how you can do your weapons, how you can do your gear, right? And then once you have that set up, right, for the builds you want, you can delete the extra, right? I do have quite a bit of extra. So you see, um, could delete this one, and then, well, that is taken by a exotic. Don't really have a decision on this, but then I could come in here and delete all of those outside of obviously the one that I decided I want to keep. So I'd keep this, delete these two, right? And then over here, I would go keep this, delete these two, right? Because they're direct replacements to the build I want to do, right? So your day on Destiny would start something along the lines, okay, I got to go to where we can get the smoke jumper sat and then farm it until I have enough. Like do all of them until you have enough. And once you sort it, you have the answer of what you have a smoker jump. And then you go, where do I get tech sack? Okay, I'm gonna farm there until I have a full set. Right? Having the full set with every single one of them, you then can make these kinds of decisions. And then these kinds of decisions will mid-max your character. And for some of us, is the end game, right? Being able to get to 550, being able to get the rank 11, being able to get your gear specifically the way you'd like, right? And then, get your max, everything. So furthermore, you can push it one further. And then, oh, I actually, without, unbeknownst to me, I did it. There you go. Grenadier, 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 Grenadier. Every single piece is a Grenadier. Okay? And I would have been at 200 if, obviously, I removed the weakening. But the weakening is so good, that I just can't not have it. I have to have the weakening. Okay? And that is, at this point, you've locked all of them, you've upgraded all of them to max level, and you can put your cosmetic, and then you eventually get used to, okay, this piece is for this gear. And you can also come here and save it. Whatever build it is that you use. Yeah, I got a few builds there. I like the way you look. This is my body build, I think. Yeah. This is the one. Huh. I have to look at the other builds. I've deleted all of them, all the builds. So I've saved it on dim. And I'm assuming this one takes one of these. Probably this one. 65. I don't know. I don't know what that piece is. The helmet. But that it is. I hope this helps. I know it's quite a bit. It's quite a long video. But it's there for you to use it as you see fit, and hopefully helps the new people that are coming back. And December 2nd, we have a new update. Get in the game 2 weeks before the game, farm just the gear you require. You have a full set of that gear that you require. And then whenever the new update comes in, you get new gear and new everything. And you can then mix and match as you see fit. Take care, everyone. Thank you very much.